Hey, what's going on with everybody? Thank you for tapping in with me again today. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Cleveland. So as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, we're talking about alternative solutions to feed our fish. Now, I know a bunch of us have been wondering, how can we save some money, right, on feeding our fish? You know, we buy pellets, we buy flakes, we buy frozen food, we buy live foods, these different kind of foods, right? So some of the things that I've been looking into is between breeding your own fish. If you have predator fish that eat other fish, that might be a solution for you. If you have fish that like shrimp, like ghost shrimp, I've looked into breeding ghost shrimp. If you have fish that like brine shrimp, you could breed brine shrimp. Now, also, how many of you know that if you have these large predator fish, they like worms, right? They fish like worms. So I started doing some research on how to breed worms. Now, I have a setup right here behind me of my worm breeder. This is a 3-stack bin system for breeding worms. Now, I do want to go ahead and dive into this. I want to let you guys see what's going on the inside. We're going to put the gloves on. I'm going to show you how I did this. I'm going to show you what goes into maintaining it. I'm going to show you what I have to do to keep these things alive and healthy, and I'm going to talk all about it. So let's go ahead and pull this bin out and open it up and see what's inside, right? All right, so the beauty of this is that it is fairly light. Also, I have this dolly that pretty much reaches right at its level. So all I'd have to do is just slide it on over like that. Simple enough, right? So let's take a look at the exterior. I'm gonna bring you in, don't worry about it. Let's take a look at this thing. All right, so as I said, 3-stack bins, that's a good number. We have a tap right there, that is for worm tea. Oh, a worm fell out, look at that. That's one of the things that we're gonna talk about. Worms escaping. Now let's go ahead and grab that worm. We're gonna feed him to the fish. Doot, 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 doot. Woo. There you go. Snatched. Yum, yum. Got that quick. All right. So typically, the worms should not escape, but I probably put the holes, make the holes a little too big. Let's open this up. Want to go outside? Let's take this outside. All right, so here we are. I brought out my spray bottle. This is some RODI filtered water. It don't have to be RODI, just filtered water. No water with chlorine. And then this is their worm food right here. So let's go ahead and open up this bin. Remind you, this is an 18-gallon, 68-liter. There go the worms. I knew it. They were coming out of this middle one. So what I need to do is I need to basically do the same thing in that section that I did in the top one. So we're just going to throw those back in. All right, as you can see, had to put those back in. Got a worm right there. Yeah, running from the light, running from the sun. We got some pods in there too. All right, let's go ahead and lift this up. Let's see what's going on under this this cardboard. All right. There they are. So they're not really coming up to the top. But look at that. Worms everywhere. And it don't smell bad. So when you have a healthy bin, it shouldn't smell bad. Smell like compost, you know? If you have a foul odor, then you know that you got too much food in there. And the cardboard also helps really well with neutralizing the smell, neutralizing the acid in the soil, things like that. Carbon. So I could probably spray that down a little bit, but yeah, you get back in there, and yeah. So that's pretty much it. So we just spray it down. Maybe I'll hit it with some more worm food, maybe I won't. You don't want to have it too wet. I'll definitely put some more worm food in there. So you just spray it down a little bit, right? Just like that. Now let's go ahead and grab some of this worm food. Chicken feed also works. And you just sprinkle it everywhere, just like that. Cover it back up. Look at all those worms. Ton of worms on that side. So yeah, they all up in this cardboard. Cover it right back up. Just like that. You can get at a little spray so it's not too dry. And so you see how I have the screen around all of the holes? That is necessary. So since I don't have it around the holes down there, they're escaping. They are escaping. So as long as you do that around both bins, and the reason why you do it like this, the reason why it's a bin system, let me explain that to you. Oh, here you go. Look at that. So the reason why it's a bin system like this is because I start off with everything in this top one, right? So what worm juice is as all of this water just keeps going through the soil, and the worms are eating and pooping and doing all their thing in the soil, it drains out. It turns to like a tea, worm tea. So that collects in the bottom, this one right here. So this middle one right here is empty. Probably has some water in there, some of the worm tea, et cetera, et cetera. So as the worms eat through all of this, everything that I'm feeding it, 6 months down the line, I'll start having like worm castings. It's like worm feces and things like that, worm castings. So you collect the worm castings and you put that inside your gardens, etc., and it really helps the garden grow. So once that happens, I'll put this one in the middle. After 6 months, I'll put this one in the middle. I'll put this middle one up top, and then I'll basically put all the food in the top one, which will basically make all of the worms crawl from the middle one to the top one. Make sense? If it doesn't, we'll talk a little bit more about it later on, but I hope that made sense. Let's go ahead and close this up. So make sure you keep your food bagged up, Ziploc. And yeah, just try not to overfeed your bin. I ran through a few different things. I overfed it, overwatered it, all that. So if you overwater it, one of the things that you could do is just do like how I did, just bring it outside, uncover it, I had fungus gnats in here. Same thing, rolled it outside, opened it up, all the gnats got, just left, and then let it dry out a bit. No more fungus gnats. And as I just said, it smells good. Added a lot of cardboard up in here, that carbon. So it's a lot of different ways of mediating and fixing things and stuff like that. So like I said, so I bought 500 European night crawlers, and basically for the substrate up in here, I bought some black soil from Home Depot. I used some leaf compost, and then I used paper shreddings, cardboard shreddings, and that was the initial startup substrate of this. And then I added in here like lettuce, things like that, just to get my feet wet. And then so that's a startup of this thing. But yeah, so now it's just maintaining. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comment section, and let's get back inside and wrap up this video. All right, and so putting it back, just as easy. Just as easy. Just like that. So, like I said, this is just, oh, rip my glove. All right, so like I was saying, this is just one of the ways that you could start producing your own fish food. Just save a little dollar here and there. I mean, that's a small system. I had to start off with 500. That should double within 6 months, and then I could go ahead and start it over, because they self-stabilize. They'll get to a population to where they will no longer procreate, so they could just sustain that space until you go ahead and remove them. Like they just do it. That's how worms are, or that's how these guys are. So in another 6 months, I'll probably double that bin system, triple it. Maybe I'll start one outside, who knows? All right, well, anyway, that's about it. I appreciate you all for stopping by. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload. And everybody, if y'all enjoyed the video, do something for me. Like the video. Like I say all the time, it really does help the algorithm, helps push the content a little bit further, lets me know that you appreciate this kind of content. But anyway, I hope everybody have a wonderful day. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.